Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. I am Damien, and today's live stream we're gonna look at the price of Bitcoin as we normally do. When we get started here, we'll look at the 1 hour chart. Then I want to look at USDT dominance. I want to look at Tether dominance, and then also take a look at Bitcoin dominance, see how that's faring. Just to get an idea, like, is there a fear in the markets, or are we actually going to possibly see higher prices for these altcoins or not? That's usually where I like to get started. But let's first start with Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame here, like we normally do. Bitcoin just not doing what it needs to be doing here. We need to be making higher highs here, which we were doing, last Friday and during the weekend. But looking right here, we have lower high here, possibly another lower high. And if we're not gonna be making lower highs, then guess what? We're gonna make it. I mean, if we're not gonna be making higher highs, we're gonna be making low highs. And then of course we have been making lower lows. So, this is showing me that the trend is now downward, that we could possibly be heading down to 63K maybe is an area of support for Bitcoin, or maybe even lower than that. Maybe we revisit the 60K area that we saw back here on Thursday, February 5th, when Bitcoin had a very nasty, violent drop before we got the oversold bounce that took us up to higher prices here. Okay, maybe we might end up revisiting those lows again here if Bitcoin's not going to catch the bids. Now, is Bitcoin actually going to catch the bids, right? I like to look at the momentum indicators to give me ideas like what Bitcoin could be possibly doing here. So let's look at the MACD indicator here real quick. See what momentum is like. And momentum is kind of like wishy-washy. It's been like this since since yesterday. We saw the same thing, wishy-washy price action, but we're still making lower highs and lower lows. I want to see buying pressure come in strong, like we saw last Friday. Buying pressure was really strong, but there's no buying pressure showing up right here. Okay, you see we get a little bit of buying pressure, but it's not strong. It's not like what it was on Friday or back here on Wednesday of last week. Okay, or even like back here on Friday, February 6th, when we saw the oversold bounce and we saw a lot of buying pressure coming in when Bitcoin hit 60K. We're not seeing that right now. This is weak sauce right here. This is very weak. Okay, and it leads me to believe that Bitcoin might want to be going down to lower prices here. Let's zoom out to the daily time frame, see what the MACD looks like on the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, we do see that we do have buying pressure here showing up. And this was making me feel a little bit more optimistic about, Bitcoin this weekend. But here we are on Tuesday. The weekend's over. Yeah, selling pressure has died down and buying pressure is coming in, but it's just not that strong. It's not strong enough to push us up to 70K or 80K. That's what I'm worried about here. Okay, I was happy for the fact that we had the MACD crossover to the upside. But it looks like, I already pointed out here with this blue line here, that the MACD crossover to the upside could then end up being crossover to the downside, and we could end up seeing lower prices here for Bitcoin. But right now, this is what the MACD looks like on the daily time frame. You got to cross over to the upside, which is usually a good sign. It means that you should see higher prices, and we have seen higher prices, but it's just not strong enough, in my opinion here. And then let's look at the money flow here on Market Saver B, see if that's giving us any hope here. Money flow has been in the negative, and has been in the negative since the end of January. All right, January 22nd, January 23rd, we saw red coming in here, and it's been red all throughout February here. However, I think like last Tuesday, was it like Tuesday? Yeah, about a week ago, Tuesday the 10th, we saw money flow start creeping up higher, as if money is going back into Bitcoin. Okay. However, we're still not in the green yet. Why are we not in the green? We need to see some green here in order for us to see higher prices here. And the thing that I'm worried about now is that we had a red sell dot that just came in saying that we should probably sell our Bitcoin right now if we want to get the highest price that we can get for Bitcoin. Like, this is no bueno. Not good, okay? To see red sell dot come in after we just had a green buy dot here on last Friday. Friday the 13th, right? Now we got a red sell dot. What's up with that? Okay, that leads me to believe that we might see some lower prices here for Bitcoin. So that's why I titled this video, like, are we gonna see 60K all over again here for Bitcoin? Okay, I mean, we're only $7,000 above it right now. but I think we might be heading back to 60K. And it's I know, like, it seems like I flip and I flop every day. Like, one day I'm kind of feeling good about Bitcoin, the other day I'm not. But it's just the way things are. Like, we are basically going sideways here on Bitcoin. We don't know if we're going to see higher prices or not. The one good thing here on the daily time frame is that we are making a higher low right now compared to the low here on Thursday of last week, where we saw Bitcoin as low as 65K. I do not want to go lower than 65K. If we go lower than 65K, then we're starting to create the bearish case here that, you know, Bitcoin cannot sustain itself, that we are making lower lows here on the daily time frame, and we might see 63K or maybe even go lower than that. And if we do go lower than that, let me just show you the bearish case here. There is a area of 51K, 51,900 is the line that I still have on the chart here. And that's basically, if I zoom back out here, it's a price that we were trading at sideways back here around February of 2024. Okay, February 2024, we were trading at 50K. This is where we could get some support for Bitcoin if we lose 60K. Okay, and if we lose 50K, then there's another area down here at 43K, which is where Bitcoin was trading at sideways here in January of 2024 and December of 2023. This is where I think, you know, Bitcoin could come down to if we're going to continue being bearish. And I actually got this as, I think this could be the bear market low at 43K. All right, but yeah, Bitcoin not doing what it needs to do for us to go to 80K. I'll tell you that. All right, we really need Bitcoin to start making higher highs here. Okay, we are making higher lows. Like, this is like the case that the Bitcoin bulls are making right here, is that we're still making higher lows, you know, in the near term here. All right, but we need to start making higher highs. Like, we need to get higher than what we did here on Sunday when we got up to like 72K on February 8th. We got to get back up there. We got to get into the 70s, or else, you know, 70s just not gonna look. I mean, this is not gonna be good for Bitcoin if we cannot get up to 72K. But I think if we do get up to 72K right now, that 21 EMA, this white line here, could act as resistance. This is the line that I think could push us back down. All right, because it's been a problem so far, you know, ever since like October of last year. This white line's been pushing us down. Like, we come up here, we get pushed back down. Okay, we come up to it, we get pushed down. We try to come up above it, right? But we don't really stay above it. We had a little bit of fight here in December, and we got up here above it in January, only for us to lose it again. Okay, so I think if we do come back up to the 21 EMA at 72K, that's going to be an area where it's going to be tough for Bitcoin to go up to higher prices, unless we have the momentum to push us to 80K, but I just don't see that right now. Let's see, Edible Zombie wants to take a look at Ethereum. Edible Zombies, before I get into requests, I do want to take a look at like USDT dominance, and I'll take a look at Bitcoin dominance, but I'll put you down as one of the first requests here that we got to look at Ethereum for one of the first requests here. Let's see, Lemon is in the chat here on TikTok. I am doing a TikTok and a YouTube live stream here, guys. Mr. Master Prick says, should you buy Bitcoin now? That's something that you have to make a decision on yourself. I still think Bitcoin is probably going to go down to lower prices later on this year. So if you're able to wait and you're patient, you might see 60K Bitcoin. You might see that later on this week. You might see that later on this month. We might see 50K Bitcoin or even 40K Bitcoin, which I think could happen later on this year. So if you want to wait, you could buy those prices. But if you're a little bit anxious, I mean, it doesn't hurt to buy a little bit of Bitcoin right now, because there's still no guarantee that we're actually going to go down to 50K. Like, we can go down to like 60K and get a bounce and never see 50K. So if you don't have any Bitcoin at all, I think it might be prudent for you to buy a little bit and then see how we're doing next week. I think now is a good time to do a dollar cost average campaign. Me myself, I'm a little bit I'm always watching the charts here, and I still think we might go down to low prices. So I probably won't buy Bitcoin until we at least hit 50 or 40K. But there's no guarantee that we're going to do that either. So we'll see. I just think, you know, buying Bitcoin right now a little bit risky, because, you know, it could be we could still be falling down the lower prices here. Red Red Film Set Series says, "Yo, Damien, can you speak French?" Only a little bit. I actually went to France back in 2018. I learned a little bit of French, right? You know, like s'il vous plaît and stuff like that. Yeah, I went to France. I seen the Eiffel Tower. I went to the south of France myself, over near the beaches, and then I also went to Barcelona, Spain, for a little bit there, for like a day or two, and then I went back to the south of France. So yeah, I actually know more Spanish than I do French, and of course, you know, I know more English than I do either of those languages there. I'm trying to learn more Spanish though, and I haven't really gotten to like learning more French. But if I end up heading back to that side of the world again, I probably would try to brush up on my French to learn a little bit more so I can talk to some people there. Ander V Dome says, "What about River?" All right, so I think that's another request. And then Ben says, "XRP short or long?" I mean, all you gotta do is watch. XRP isn't really doing anything different. There isn't anything coin specific that says you have to look at XRP. You could just look at Bitcoin and get an idea as like whether you need a long or short XRP, because they both pretty much move at the same direction and in the same rate too. All right, so I'm gonna write down XRP and River, and we'll take a look at those after we look at Ethereum. But right now, I actually do want to look at USDT dominance and Bitcoin dominance real quick. We'll make it real quick. All right, so let's go over to USDT dominance. This was good to take a look at USDT dominance because it shows us like if people are scared, if they're putting their money into cash and into Tether. And if USDT dominance is increasing, it lets you know that people are fearful out there. Right now, USDT dominance is at 7.9%. It actually went up a little bit today. And we did see USDT dominance peak out here on Friday, February 6th at 9%. If we go back up to 9%, I mean, that's going to be, that probably means Bitcoin is going below 60K. All right. And what I don't like about this chart is that we're in an uptrend. We're still making higher lows and higher highs here on USDT dominance. And it's been creeping up to higher levels here since August of last year. This was kind of like a warning sign. Like when we started creeping up in August and September, and then going into October, we saw USDT dominance increasing here. That was no bueno. That means people are getting fearful out there and selling their Bitcoin and altcoins to go into Tether or even cash. Okay. Now there was a time here that we were creating like almost like a flag here. We were bullishly consolidating on USDT dominance, but that's not good either, because that just means we're probably going to go up, right? And we did break up to the upside here. We broke up to the upside here in January. The end of January, we saw USD dominance increase here. And I think, you know, I measured this out, right? That if there was an increase here in USDT dominance, right? This would be the bull flag, right? And this is the flag, and this is the flagpole here. And you just take this to where we broke out of USDT dominance, and it's showing that we could head up to 8.8%, which we actually already did. We actually went up to 9%, so this already played out. But I mean, this is looking like it wants to continue going up to higher levels here. And I marked off 9.4% here because if I zoom out, these were the panic levels. 9.4% on USDT dominance was the level that we hit back here in November of 2022 when FTX went bankrupt. That 9.4% was basically where people were at they were at their most fearful point as far as like crypto goes, and there was a lot of panic in the markets. We're not at that 9.4% yet, but if we see 9.4%, I would think that would be a good area to buy some Bitcoin, right? If you're asking like, should you buy Bitcoin right now? I'd probably wait until USDT dominance actually gets up to 9.4%. We also hit 9.4% somewhere around here in June of 2022, when I think that was when one of the stable coins went Luna, right? Luna stablecoin went bankrupt and actually blew up. Okay, so this is an area where I think if you see USD dominance get up to this high of a level 9.4%, I think that's a good time to start buying some crypto, because usually that's like that's when the most blood in the street isn't out in the streets. Like we'll probably see, you know, the lowest prices for altcoins and Bitcoin when we actually hit 9.4% here. So that's why I think we should take a look at this chart every now and then to see, you know, how close we are to hitting that 9.4% area. Okay, we're getting close. We don't have that much fear. I mean, we have a little bit of fear. People are getting a little bit scared out there. But if we see 9.4% on USDT dominance, I would buy something, buy some crypto, because you're probably getting the lowest price you can get if we do get to those levels. All right, so that's USDT Tether dominance. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance real quick, and then we'll look at Ethereum and XRP and then River. All right, so Bitcoin dominance is currently at 58.57%. It's actually going down today. That's interesting, because that means probably people putting their money to work into the altcoins. So maybe some people are actually interested in buying altcoins, because if Bitcoin dominance is going down, that means dominance for the altcoins is increasing. Okay, but I don't know, I could be wrong, because you know, if Bitcoin dominance is going down and the altcoins aren't getting that money, then maybe you know, Tether maybe the money is going into Tether instead. So maybe, you know, maybe it's not going into altcoins, maybe it is going into Tether, and that would actually be even more bearish for cryptocurrencies, right? If we see Bitcoin dominance going down and Tether dominance going up and altcoins not really going up. When I'm looking at the total 2, I see total 2, which is like the total market cap minus Bitcoin, that is going down as well. So maybe, maybe people are going into cash and going into right now. That's not good. That's not good. We actually do want to see Bitcoin dominance. We want to see Bitcoin dominance go down, but we want to see it go down because money is going into altcoins instead, and we're not getting that here. By looking at total 2, we're down $5 billion here on total 2, which is, you know, the crypto total market cap. If you see that, crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin is going down right now, and then you can see that Tether dominance is going up. So this is leading me to believe that people are selling their Bitcoin and their crypto and going into Tether or US dollars if they can. So that's no bueno. That's no bueno. It's not good. All right, so there you go, guys. I just wanted to get a good read on the markets. It gives you an idea of like what's going on out there. It looks like people are getting scared and they're selling their crypto and going into cash and going into Tether, as far as I'm seeing on the charts right now. All right, but let's take a look at Ethereum. Are people actually buying Ethereum? No, they're not. Ethereum is down slightly today. Not even, I mean, down $3 for a $1,900 coin. You're only down $3. All right, whatever. You're down 0.17%. We did see today that we did get as high as $2,015 here. But I mean, Ethereum looks just like looks just like the Bitcoin chart, right? Where we had that drop down here on Friday, February 6th here. It looks like Ethereum got as low as 1742 here. We could come and visit that level, but I did mark a level of support here at 1822. 1822, I believe, is an area where we were trading at sideways here back in April of last year, also March of last year, and we had a little bounce off there in the middle of March. So I think 1822 is an important level for Ethereum to try to stay above here, or else, yeah, we're gonna go to lower prices. If we go to lower prices, the next level is 1650, and the 1650 level is the level where I marked off on the chart here, where we were trading sideways here back in April at 1650. Okay, we haven't hit 1650 here yet in 2026, but that could be an area where Ethereum might want to go down to the lower prices if it's going to continue going to lower prices here. Now, if Ethereum's going to cast some bids and actually go up to higher prices here, we got the 21 EMA right above us that could provide some resistance at 2196. I think that makes sense, right? That's like about a 10% move up in price here. If Ethereum does go up to 2196, you'll be up 10% on your Ethereum investment, but that might be enough for some institutional investors to try and de-risk a little bit and sell their Ethereum So I would expect resistance at 21.96 here for Ethereum if we do go up to higher prices. But if Ethereum is able to punch past that, then the levels to look for above us. I have 27 and 2800 levels to look for, and then also you got this 50-day moving average sitting at 2881. Got to Sphere says Ethereum is going to 1,000. That's when you're gonna buy Ethereum. Yeah, possibly, especially if Bitcoin's gonna go to lower prices later on this year. You'll see Ethereum at $1,000 again, probably. I do have a doomsday target for Ethereum. Doomsday target, the lowest price I could see Ethereum going down to is like $1,200. This is a level that I marked off, and I get these levels because I turn on the VRVP indicator and it shows me like levels to look for, right? As I start to zoom out, you'll see that there's about a high volume node here at $1,200, and we were trading at $1,200 here in like December of 2022, right after the FTX bankruptcy. We saw Ethereum at $1,200 roughly. So I think $1,200 is actually where Ethereum could go later on this year. Bearish. 1,000 just seems too easy, and you have to understand, like, a lot of people are gonna think 1,000 is where Ethereum is going if it's gonna be a bear market here. But there's gonna be some front running. There's gonna be some people who'll be like, you know what, 1,200 is good enough. Yeah, 1,100 is good enough, and we might not even see Ethereum go down to $1,000 here, because you'll get some people who are anxious to click that buy button, and they're not sure if we're actually gonna hit 1,000 or not. Brian says, is this the Wojak chart? No, it's not. No, it's not. Let's move on to XRP. That was another request that we gotta take a look at here. XRP currently trading at $1.47. Guys, how's the volume on YouTube? Is it a little bit too much? I feel like the music might be a little bit too much. Let me turn the music down on my end here a little bit. Alright, I feel like it might have been a little bit too much there on the volume. I see Ava Medina's in the chat on YouTube. Good to see you, Ava Medina. Appreciate you coming in here and also sharing that Discord link. Appreciate that. Edible Zombie says, did BlackRock adopt XRP today? I don't know. Did they? And then Ava Medina wants to take a look at FHE. That is a long that I did get in earlier yesterday morning. We'll have to take a look at FHE. Yeah, let me go ahead and write that down. So we have a guy here on TikTok, Sajid, asking what is the indicator off to the right. That is the VRVP indicator here. It's a very useful, powerful indicator that takes real world data. It takes the amount of people that were buying and selling and puts you at the specific price levels here. And you can see that the highest volume nodes, where you get the most buying and selling, you get these high volume nodes right here. That tells you like where areas of support or resistance can be. Okay. And I have it highlighted here. This blue line is the highest volume node here, and that's the point of control, the POC. And if you want to learn more about the VRVP indicator, I do have a TikTok video here pinned to the top of my channel. If you go to the Meet Demon TikTok channel, let me go ahead and click the refresh button, get this fired up here. But there's a VRVP indicator video that you can learn more about how to set it up, and then how I use it and how I trade with it. That's pinned to the top of my channel here. So don't forget to follow me and join the 6,500 followers here on TikTok. And then go ahead and check out that VRVP indicator video on your own time. Okay. My YouTube guys, I also got a VRVP indicator video as well on the YouTube channel as well. And you can just look up the video section for the Meet Damien channel, and you'll be able to find it. Alright, so right now, XRP currently trading at $1.47. I still got the VRVP indicator fired up here, and it shows that there's a lot of high volume here at $1.45. So we're already at like a area of support for XRP. However, if we lose this area of support, I did highlight here that we could come down to $1.11, which we did come down to $1.11 on February 5th and February 6th here. So that is the level to look for below us on XRP. And if we lose $1.11, I think 69 cents could end up being the next target for XRP to the downside. Okay, if I zoom out, get some more data here, you can see there's a little bit of volume here in the VRVP indicator at like 69 cents. What an awesome number, right? Who loves 69 over here? I do. No, just keeping you guys entertained here. 69 cents could be where XRP ends up going down to if we lose $1.11, okay? And if we're not going to go to lower prices, if we're actually going to go to higher prices here, just looking at this VRVP indicator, we do have a area of resistance above us at $1.87, going all the way up to like $1.92, 93. You got some high volume here, okay? That should be your first area of resistance, okay? And you can see that there's a green line here, this 50-day moving average, that's sitting at like $1.93. So if we do climb up to higher prices, I would expect the 50-day moving average to act as resistance, but also we got a lot of resistance from this VRVP high volume node here. And you can also see on the chart there's some sideways trading here at $1.90. We have come down to $1.90 here back in June of last year. So I think $1.90 to like $1.92, 93 is where XRP could get resistance if it is able to climb up to those higher prices there. Thank you, Swaggy Shaggy, for following me here on TikTok. And I see Rosa has entered the chat. Thank you, Rosa, for coming in the Meet Damien live stream here. Glendon, thank you for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. And we got Cameron in here, but Cameron isn't really saying anything. But I do see that TikTok says that Cameron is here. He must be just listening to me in the background and maybe doing something else here. Maybe he's doing some day trades right now. Thank you, tell him for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. So I give you guys the upside downside targets for XRP to look out for here. In the near term, we are coming up on resistance already at this 21 EMA, this white line acting as resistance at $1.51, $1.53. Okay, that seems to be an area that we need to penetrate before we can head up to like $1.90 here. And does XRP have the momentum to go to high prices? Let's look at the MACD real quick before we move on to River here. But the momentum is to the upside. You did get a MACD crossover to the upside here last Friday, and I think XRP could go to higher prices here. It just needs permission to do so. Maybe if Bitcoin, leads us to higher prices here, you'll see XRP head up to higher prices as well. It's sad to say that, but I mean these coins are like, they're kind of like tethered to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes down, they go down. If Bitcoin goes up, they go up. Unless we get like some specific coin related news here about XRP. And I know you guys are paying attention to the XRP news when it does come out, but we get all this good news for XRP and it just doesn't really do much for the price. What really does it for the price is when Bitcoin actually goes up, and then you see XRP actually go up as well. Alright, moving on from XRP, let's take a look at the River. I think I want to add River to like one of my to the watch list here. Yeah, I haven't done so already. I want to make sure I add that in there. River is a cryptocurrency that was the talk of the town back in January here. We did see River get as high as $88.77 before that blow off top sent us down to lower prices here. And it was like a couple of bad weeks here for River. And then River ended up, trading sideways here at like 11 to 12 bucks here. And I was looking at River yesterday, and I think even on Sunday, because we were at an area of support that should have held at like 11. I'm sorry, if I zoom in more, it was at mainly at like 1203. Like we came down to 1203 here on Sunday. 1207 here, the Sunday before that. What's it? 1193 here. So like this was an area that should have held as support, but it's not. It's not holding as support. So now that we actually broke through the $12 area here on River, it's not looking good for River. I mean, we could come down, basically down to like this area, like 380. Okay. And I already highlighted 317. I think that was a level where there was a high volume node here in the VRVP indicator. Let me go ahead and turn that bad boy on. Yeah, so right now it's showing there's a POC at $4 here. And then there's $3.12. There's another high volume node here. Yeah. But let's see. Go back. I'm gonna go back and see if there's anything closer below besides $4 and $3 here. We do have some volume here at $8. And there's more volume here at $7.25, and that's basically right back here in October of last year. You had some sideways trading action at like $7.25 here for River. That could be where we end up going next here for River. Damn, that sucks. I thought River was gonna catch some bids today, but it didn't. It actually just didn't, and a completely bearish engulfing candle here. And how low did we go? We actually went down to like $8.88 here today. Okay, River, if you're gonna just break our hearts and go to lower prices like that. Man, it would suck, huh, if this ends up being like a round trip for whoever bought in December of last year. You know, they thought they did good buying River at like $4, and we could see River come right back down to $4 all over again, doing a complete round trip. That's why you gotta be prudent about taking profits here on these cryptocurrencies, right? Because we saw River get up to like $60-80 here last month, and now look at it, it's at $10. So you know, when you hear your friends, I'm pretty sure you guys might have heard your friends or your family say, you know what, you should probably sell your crypto. You're up like what, 10x or whatever, 5x on your investment. You should probably sell something. Had you listened to them, you wouldn't have been getting your heart broken like this on River. Let's see, momentum for River. Is there any momentum to the upside? We did see selling pressure was decreasing here, and this was getting me a little bit excited about maybe longing River here. But then we started going sideways here on the selling pressure, which was like a head scratcher. Like, okay, why are we not punching our way up into buying pressure? And it looks like we kind of got the answer today. We got a now, you know, we had selling pressure decreasing with these pink candles, but now we have selling pressure increasing with a solid red candle here. So if that's the case, then I think River wants to go down to lower prices. And I already gave you the level to look out below is like $4 and $3 here. Is where we could possibly go down to River. So I just, that sucks. That sucks. I don't know. Maybe we get some good news tomorrow. Maybe Bitcoin goes up to higher prices, and maybe River kind of follows through, and we end up. This could just be one bad dream, and then we go back up to the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average sitting at 1466. I would try to take a little bit of profit now if I could. If I bought River at $10, I would take a little bit of profit at $14. You'll be up like 40%. And then you got the 21 EMA here at $19. I would probably take some more profit at $19. You know, as you start creeping up to higher prices here for River. But damn, this is that red candle. That's devastating. That bearish engulfing red candle there. Even lower than what you did here on Sunday, February 1st. You came at low as like $10.19. We went down to $8 here. Yeah, I would stay away. I would stay away from River. Because it might be going down to $4 or $3 here. Not sure what you're trying to do. I forgot who requested River here, but if you're trying to short it, I hope you were already in a short. But now, I don't know, maybe you could add to the short. Let's see. Big news just came out. What is that big news? Gatus Belair says there's some big news that just came out. Let's see. Soulhawk says, what do I think about the price for a reversal? A reversal on what? What are we talking about? Like, what asset are we talking about here? Thank you, Pudi Como, for following me here on TikTok, and thank you, Crypto, for following me here on TikTok. Thailand says, "What do I think about a year from now?" A year from now, I think might be a better year for cryptocurrencies. I think later on this year we might see some lower prices, and you could possibly buy the bear market low. I think Bitcoin might go to 40K, and that might be the bear market low. Nathan says, "Who else missed the stable short yesterday night?" Oh, what did stable do? I'll tell you that I missed it. I wasn't shorting stable. I have been involved in FHE though for long, and that is a request here from my buddy Ava Medina. Ava Medina just asked for FHE, and this is the cryptocurrency that I tried to get into yesterday morning. Again, I got in at 0.39. This thing is trading at 0.43 right now, so that's good to see. And let me just give you my reasons for why I got into this cryptocurrencies, okay? So, FHE obviously had really good January when we got up to like 37 bucks. I mean, sorry, not 30, 37 cents here, okay? 37, 38 cents, okay? Had its own version of a blow-off top. Try to maintain support near the 0.236 at 11.5 cents. Tried really hard to maintain that support, but then we end up losing it, okay? And now we tried to come down to the 200-day moving average and the 100-day moving average, and that didn't really act as support. We actually lost it. And then, well, oh, look at this. We actually came up and back tested the 100-day moving average. So that's not the best thing to see here, okay? However, if I pull up that VRVP indicator, and if you just look left as well, you'll see that there is some support here. We could have some support here anywhere between like 0.033 pennies to like 0.037. You also got the point of control, the POC here at 0.036 pennies. So this should act as support, and it kind of did. Like, we only got as low here on Sunday. We went as low as 0.037. And then here on Monday, 0.03744. So we are treating that 0.036 level and 37 level as support for now. And that was one reason why I got into the long here on FHE. But let's look at the RSI here and the MACD. I want to look at the 1 hour time frame, because that's what I was really looking at here on the 1 hour time frame. As I zoom in here on FHE, you can see that we had lower lows here on price. Let me get rid of the VRBP indicator. But we had lower lows here on price. However, we were making higher lows here on the RSI. Does anybody know what that is? Ava Medina, you should probably know this. Do you know what that is, Ava Medina? When we see something like this, lower lows on price, higher lows on the RSI, what does that mean? I want to see if anybody's paying attention here. Thank you to Crypto for following me here, and thank you LPN for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. We're looking at FHE right now for a cryptocurrency. And Ava Medina said it here on YouTube. We are looking at bullish divergence. So this right here is bullish divergence, guys. Okay? Which is what you need to see to start to bottom out. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to bottom out, because, you know, you could still make lower lows on price while still making higher lows on the RSI. Okay? However, the next thing that I saw that made me interested about long in FHE was I saw a potential double bottom, where, you know, here on the 1 hour time frame, we came as low as 0.0371 pennies here on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And then, you know, a few hours later, going into like Monday here, same thing here at like 9 a.m. Eastern time, we came down to 0.03744. That's your double bottom. All right. Do I need to highlight that? Let me see if I can just do like a little circle here, but get your double bottom here, guys. Okay, so this double bottom, it literally has bottom in the name. It means that this thing is bottoming out. Okay, so I got in on Monday morning after I saw that, you know, this potential double bottom. I got in at 0.039 pennies here, and yeah, I mean, this thing has been trading sideways here now at basically 4 pennies. But I think, you know, if this is double bottom is going to play out to the upside, the way it does play out to the upside, let me just show you guys here what the double bottom usually goes for. If you go from like 0.037, which is where the double bottom was at, to the top, the two bottoms here, I guess we got to like 5 cents at some point. You take this measured move, you put that measured move on top of the top in between the two bottoms here, and it gives you the measured move upside target of about 7 cents. This thing could come up to like 7 cents, which I think would put you right at that 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame. It's sitting at like 6.5 cents, but I mean, to go from 4 cents to like 6 cents, that's a 50% move up in price. And then I believe if you go from like 4 cents to like 7 cents, which is what this thing is saying it could possibly do here, it's about a 64% gain. So there should be some upside here on FHE. Okay. Now, I mean, do we have the momentum to go up to the upside? Well, not as strong a momentum as we saw back here on last Friday. And I just think that's just cryptocurrencies in general. Like a lot of these cryptocurrencies, even though FHE is up 3% today, a lot of these cryptocurrencies are just losing their momentum to go to higher prices here. But I think FHE is one of the stronger ones to get into. That could possibly head up to like 6 or 7 cents here. Alright, so, you know, just game planning this out, you know, if I was to get into a long, and then this is how I figured things out. So, like, I got into long at 3.039 pennies, but if you were to try to get into a long right now on FHE, I put the stop loss right below the lows that we saw, you know, below these double bottoms here. So maybe put it at like 0.037 pennies here. And then you're targeting about this 200 moving average on the 1 hour time frame at 6.5 cents. Your risk reward ratio is 3.6. You're risking 14% to try and get 51%. I think that's a worthwhile long to take. Okay. However, I think, you know, we could go higher than 6 or 7 cents. Like I would take profit at like 6 or 7 cents, maybe partial profit, but then I also maybe try to hang out to see if we're going to get back up to this 11.5 cent level here. Which, you know, I labeled TP here, but 11.5 cents, if I zoom out onto the daily time frame and I put up that VRVP indicator one more time here, you'll see that there is a high volume node roughly at 11.5 cents here, and then there's also some high volume here at 10 cents. So it's like to me it looks like FHE is trying to bottom out, and if it does bottom out and it plays out to the upside, we could take profit at 6 and 7 cents. We could also take some more profit at 8 cents, as well as 10 cents and 11.5 cents. I would try to get out of the trade at that level, because I don't know if we're actually going to get back up to like 30 cents here, 37 cents, but I do think we could try to make a run for like 10 or 11 cents at some point here. So there you go. That's my my bullish case here for FHE. How I would day trade it, how I would try to long it. I just gave you the targets there. Let's see. Nathan, what does Nathan say? The sauce here is so good, no one is tapping the live. Yeah, guys, let's go ahead and double tap that. If you double tap your screen, that's how you send me the like here. The least you could do is, you know, send a like. It's free to do. Appreciate that. Thank you, Nathan, for sending me the goat gift here. Thank you. Appreciate that. And then for my YouTube guys, don't forget to smash that like button if you've done so. Let's see if we get the likes to match the amount of people that are in the live stream right now. Chase Chimes says something about 10K. I don't know what you're saying here. George Crypto says Bitcoin is going to 100. Are you talking about 100K? I highly doubt Bitcoin is going to go to $100. All right. So moving on from FHE, do we have any other cryptocurrencies we want to take a look at? Let's take a look at crypto bubbles. I think I saw like Pippin was taking a beating. Yeah, Pippin is like the biggest loser for today. after being up so high. Let's take a look at Pippin, right? Do I have that on my watch list? I do, yeah. Pippin currently down 23%. I think I tried shorting this last week. I think I tried shorting it when it got to like 55 cents. Only because, you know, that was a top that it had here on January 28th and another top here going back to December as well. But then Pippin blew through my short, you know, so I actually lost money trying to short it. And then I was like, how much higher could this thing go? So I measured from 55 cents was the top of the fib level here. Let me get the VRV. I measured from the top of the fib level here at 55 cents down to the bottom here, I believe at 4 cents. And it gave me these extension levels to look for here on Pippin. And it told me that Pippin could actually reach the 1272 here at 66 cents, which it already did. I think it did that here on Saturday. And then it told me that Pippin could be on its way up to 80 cents. We didn't actually get up to 80 cents. We got up to like 77 cents, but close enough. But this was telling me that Pippin was capable of getting up to these prices, and it did. It was only like 3 cents shy of hitting that 1618. Alright, so we almost hit the 1618, and then we got rejected here on Sunday. But even then, it was still putting up a fight. Like, yeah, we came down. We had a red candle here, a red doji candle, which is, some people would call this a reversal candle. And we got a little bit of follow through here on Monday. But even on Monday, we still punched our way up to like 76 cents, which is like almost as high as what we saw here on Sunday at 77 cents. But once again, we ended up in the red here, and now, you know, I guess the sharks must have smelled blood in the water, and then they started clicking that sell button and shorting the crap out of Pippin. And now we're finally seeing the bearish engulfing candle that is a devastating candle to any of the longs that just recently got in here. We came down to, how low did we go? We got down to like 48 cents here. Look at that. It took you right to the 786 retracement at 47 cents. Like, close enough, right? If Pippin was to end up having a few more bad days here, I think there might be some support at 41 cents, which is your golden pocket level here. And then maybe we come down to the 21 EMA at 35 cents, which is also that 0.5 retracement level here. So I think 40 and 35 cents might be the downside targets for Pippin in the next, you know, next few days here, if we're going to continue being bearish. But yeah, that's a really nasty red candle. This was someone got paid shorting this today. I wasn't in the short, but whoever did, congratulations for shorting Pippin today. Today was the day to do that short. Alright. But yeah, I guess I could probably readjust this now. So let's see what the levels are going to look like now. If I put this up to like 77 cents is where we get topped out at. Alright, now it's showing that the 618 is at 53 cents. And it's showing that the 0.5 is at 46 cents. Alright, so yeah, I think, you know, we can still use this Fibonacci, but I also think we can use the moving averages below us to find out how much lower this thing can go. And I think 35 cents seems about right here. 35, 36 cents. And this 21 EMA is going to creep up higher because it is on an uptrend here. While if the price was to go down, so like I think by the time this white line creeps up higher and the price actually goes down to that white line, it might be right here at that 0.382 at 38 cents, 38, 39 cents is where I think that would be the support level for Pippin. I think I'm gonna mark that on chart for now. I think we might come down to this area here at 39 cents for Pippin before we start getting a little bit of support, a little bit of a maybe oversold bounce on Pippin. Alia Aza says, Bitcoin, will it be up or down? I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I just look at the charts here, and the charts are telling me that the trend is downward for Bitcoin, but I could be wrong. You know, Bitcoin we might get some good news tomorrow. You know, maybe Iran and the United States sign a peace deal, and there's no battle or conflict in the Middle East, and that might be enough for the markets to just run with it and go to higher prices. we just don't know. We take it day by day. But going back to Bitcoin, right? Since you asked about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is still making low highs here on the daily time frame. Okay. The only saving grace is that you're making a higher low, which is kind of confusing people. So we don't know, are we bullish or bearish here on Bitcoin? I understand why you're a little bit confused as to whether you should long or short Bitcoin. Okay. But if I look at the momentum indicators here on the daily time frame, the trend has been to the upside, and we are getting some buying pressure, and we got a MACD crossover to the upside. So the daily time frame is saying that Bitcoin could possibly go up to higher prices here. But if I look at the money flow here on the daily time frame, it's showing that, yeah, money flow has been in the red and negative, and it was climbing up to show that we could possibly be bullish here on Bitcoin. However, we just got a red sell dot here today, saying that, you know, Bitcoin might actually go down tomorrow, going into later on this week. So like, what's up with that? The Bitcoin is really confusing right now as far as like looking at the daily time frame. But if I go into the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame is where I start my day trading. Is the time frame that I look at to figure out, you know, are we going to continue going up or going down? And here on the 1 hour time frame, the market cipher B, you're in the red right now, and you're trying to climb up a little bit to go into the green, but you're not able to. You haven't done it yet. We were in the green on Monday night, and then we went into the red Tuesday morning, earlier this morning. And then here on the MACD indicator here for the 1 hour time frame, it's just very weak. It's wishy-washy price action. Like, I understand, like, we don't know. Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Well, even Bitcoin doesn't know. And on the 1 hour time frame, we're not getting any clear direction here. You know, like, this would be clear direction right here, right? Where we know, like, selling pressure is dying down, and we're getting buying pressure, and it's increasing here. And then here, you got more direction here, where buying pressure is dying down, and now it's selling pressure, okay? And then here, you even had a little bit of direction here, where selling pressure was coming in strong here on Sunday night. I'm sorry, Sunday afternoon. And then it started dying down here on Sunday night. But now it's just like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Barely up. And then what? Barely down? Like, I think the market's just going sideways right now until we get some news. Tomorrow, Wednesday afternoon at 2 p.m. is supposed to be like the FOMC meeting minutes, where it might give the markets some direction as to like what the Federal Reserve might do for interest rates, because they're just going to show us what they were thinking about and saying during the meeting of last month. So that's kind of a big deal. Tomorrow we also got the what do we got? We got the Geneva peace talks between Iran and the United States. If that goes well, then you would expect the markets to go up. If that doesn't go well, then you might see this more of a sell-off. And then we also got a little bit of a partial government shutdown. Like, even though the United States government's open for business right now, like, there's some services that are not, they're still operating, but they're not getting paid. Like the TSA agents right now. Last time I checked on the news, the TSA agents, they still have to show up to work, and they're not getting paid right now. So, like, that affects the economy, because those people who are not getting paid, how are they paying their bills? They're not going to be able to pay their bills. They're not going to be able to pay their rent. And that affects the economy. Like, that affects real people's spending, right? If they're not getting paid, how are they going to go out and go out to eat with their significant other and have a dinner or whatever at a restaurant? They're not going to be able to. Are they even going to be able to pay for, food at home? If they're not getting paid, like that actually affects the economy. And the markets, they might start bleeding off because of that. Because if people aren't spending their money because they're not getting paid, because they're having a little bit of a partial government shutdown, then yeah, that's going to affect the markets and affect Bitcoin and crypto. Like, think about it. Like, the TSA agents, right? I'm pretty sure that some of them buy crypto. How are they going to buy crypto if they're not getting paid, on Friday? If they're not getting a paycheck, how are they going to buy their crypto? Simple as that. Let's see. Trinamum says, can you check Mubarak USDT. Alright, I can do that. Thank you for giving me the ticker symbol there. And it sounds like it's a cryptocurrency. 20% says 60K is coming. It looks like it could. Just by looking at the 1 hour chart here on Bitcoin, you can see that we are making lower highs here, and this could be another lower high being formed. You can see that we made a lower low, and a lower low. So Bitcoin is trending downward towards, as if it wants to go down to at least 63K. So we shall see. If we lose 67,200, this is a level that I think is very important for us to maintain. But if we lose this level here, we could go. It could be lights out where we come down to 63K like nothing here for Bitcoin. So maybe we should be looking for shorts here on Bitcoin. Let's see. Just zooming in on the MACD. Maybe I will take a short here on Bitcoin. Yeah, the MACD momentum is going. Buying pressure is dying down right now. It looks like we might see some selling pressure later on tonight. If I was to short Bitcoin just using the 1 hour time frame here, I would probably put the stop loss right above the 100-day moving average, the 100 moving average here. And more conservative, putting it above the 200 moving average. That's at 68,300. That's about $1,000 away. I don't know. I probably wouldn't enter the short. If we came back up, to this 21 EMA at 67,800, I'd probably enter short there and then put the stop loss at like 68,300 or 68,400. But let's look at this other cryptocurrency, Moonbark, and then I'm probably gonna end the live stream after that, guys. Appreciate you guys coming into the live stream. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Moonbark on Binance. Yeah, sure. So we'll look at Bark. Currently trading at 2 cents, up 1% today. Let me go into the daily time frame. I never looked at this chart before. I don't think anybody's ever requested this cryptocurrency before. You can see I have no previous chart work on it. Looks like you've seen some of your best days going into 2025 of last year. Looks like around like March, we saw this thing as high as 20 cents. So you're down 90%. You're down 90% from where you were at back here in March of last year. The crazy part about these cryptocurrencies is that they could be down 90%, and then you think you're getting a deal by buying it now because it's like a 90% discount, only for it to then go down another 90%. Be careful. You might not think that's possible, but I've seen that happen. Like I've been involved in a cryptocurrency called AIT protocol where I saw it go down from like $1 to like 10 cents. I actually bought it at 6 cents, thinking that I was getting a good deal on AIT protocol. And then I saw AIT protocol go from 6 to 5, 5 to 4, 4 to 3, all the way down to like 1 penny, then a half a penny. So I bought it at 6 cents and it went to half a penny. It went from being down 90% and then me buying it at 6 cents to then it going down another 90% and going down to like a half a penny. So just be careful with cryptocurrencies. It's possible that you think you're getting a good deal with it being down 90%, and it could go down another 90% on you. I guess what? Would that make it an even better deal? I don't know, man. I don't know. But anyways, looking at Moonbark, I'm looking at the moving averages. Looks like you're trying to challenge the 100-day moving average right now, which is good to see, I guess. Yeah, that's 100-day moving average at 2 cents. If you get past that, then we'll see how it handles itself at the 200-day moving average at 0.023 pennies here. I think that's going to be a problem until it's no longer a problem. And if you get past the 200-day moving average, then maybe this thing is actually going to be bullish, which it hasn't really been bullish at all throughout the past year. You've been making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Of course, you've been making lower lows. That brought you down to those lower highs. Is this thing bottoming out? Well, I like to see a few things when I see a bottom, a potential bottom. I want to see either like a double bottom or a higher low. And right now, you got a low here and a lower low. You don't have a higher low yet. If we were to come down to low prices here from 2 cents and we come down to like a penny and a half, and then we jump up from a penny and a half and go up to higher prices here, that would form a higher low, right? Let me just draw that out here real quick. So if we did something like this, where we came down to like a penny and a half, and then just out of nowhere, we just bounce off there and just go up to higher prices, you're making a higher low compared to this low. That is when I would start to be more bullish on this asset here. This is where you can game plan, like, all right, this thing came down to a penny and a half. It's rounding out. It's going to a penny, and it's going to like 0.016 and 0.017. You can put your stop loss right below a penny and a half. Maybe at like 0.014. And if you get stopped out, you get stopped out. It means the thing's probably not done going down yet. But you're not going to lose that much by buying in at like 0.016 or 0.017 and putting your stop loss at like 0.014. If it does do something like this, this is what I would like to see. Would be possibly a higher low. That'd be nice to see. Okay, that's part of like creating an uptrend versus being in a downtrend. Okay. However, we might not do something like that. We might actually do something like this, where we actually come down and test the lows here at that 1 penny level, where we got down to like what, 0.011 pennies here on Friday, February 6th. And then we start coming back up to higher prices here. All right, and then if you do something like that, well, guess what? That's a double bottom, and it literally has bottom in its name. That means you're bottoming out. So I either want to see a double bottom, or I want to see like a higher low. For me to justify me to get into this asset and try to long it, and maybe, you know, if I was gonna buy spot, dollar cost average in, and just keep buying the higher lows whenever you see the higher lows form on the daily time frame. Now let's see. That's another thing I look for to figure out if this thing is bottoming out here. I want to see if this thing is making bullish divergence. So let's look at the RSI here real quick. I don't see bullish divergence, no, because I see a low here on the RSI. It got as low as like 28.56, and then I see a lower low here at 26.52. So this thing actually was making lower lows here on the RSI, as well as making lower lows on the price. So there's no bullish divergence. So I can't really say I cannot say there's bullish divergence. Bullish divergence. If we were to see bullish divergence, like, I don't know, I guess. I mean, maybe you could say there was bullish divergence here though. Alright, because I do see that possibly there was some higher lows being formed over here. And then there was obviously lower lows here on the price. So you got lower lows, higher lows here. So I don't know, maybe there was bullish divergence here. But I don't know, I was looking at this thing right here, and this is like, you're making a lower low compared to what you did here in November. So I don't know, I don't like that. I don't like that. It leads me to believe that we could go down to lower prices. That kind of sucks, because I'm pretty sure someone might have spotted this here back here in what was this, like November and December of last year. Someone probably thought this was bullish divergence, and yeah, it did kind of play out where this thing started catching bids here and going up to higher prices. But then you came back down, and instead of respecting this low, you actually made a lower low compared to what you did here in December and November. So like, what's up with that? I don't like that. So what I want to see again is I want to see a double bottom here or a higher low to justify getting into a long here on Moonbar. Thank you, Pim Chinook, for following me here on TikTok. And let's see, Adrian says, you want me to take a look at Pi Network? I think I can do that. I was going to try to end the live stream, but I guess we got all the requests here. Cameron says, never mind 65K, think about 35K. Oh man, Cameron's very super bearish here. Don't get too bearish, Cameron. I think levels to look for is like 50K and 40K. I guess that would be on the way to 35K. But there could be a fight at 40K at the very least before we go down to 35K. All right, we gotta take a look at Pi Network here. Pi, USDT, and I'm probably gonna make this the last request. We already took a look at Bitcoin. I've been having a very busy week here, guys. I'm trying to get one of my apartment units ready for rental. I gotta do some painting tomorrow. So I'm probably not going to be live streaming tomorrow, but I'll try to go live on Thursday at the normal time slot between 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm just giving that out here, just letting you guys know. 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time on Thursdays when I plan on going live again. Tomorrow, I got too much to do tomorrow. Alright, so we'll look at that Pi Network. Currently trading at 18.5 cents. It's up 7.3% today. And look at the daily time frame. This thing has been a really great short. Maybe, you know, sometimes it does have spikes up where, you know, you could get stopped out of your short. But it looks like here this thing started trading on MEXC exchange in February of last year. Got as high as like $2.99, and that was it. You haven't seen $2.99 since then. Had a little bit of a spike up here in May when we got up to like $1.66, but once again another lower high. And yeah, this thing really has been dog shit since then. Lower lows, lower highs. You get some spikes up here. 21 EMA, this white line, is going to be the first problem that you got to get past. And it looks like you got above the 21 EMA recently here, so that's good to see. That's a start, of trying to create a bullish case here. You got rejected off the 50 moving average here at 20 cents on Sunday. The 100-day moving average is right above it at 21.5 cents, and then you got the 200-day moving average sitting above at 25 cents. So these are your targets to the upside. If this thing is going to continue climbing up to higher prices and you're already in on Pi Network, you got like spot bags or in a long, I would take profit at that 50 or the 100, anywhere between like 20 and 21 cents, and then I would try to take more profit or realize the entire profit on the long here at 25 cents. And if you got spot bags on this, not financial advice, but I would de-risk a little bit and take some off the table at 25 cents. Because this thing could get rejected, come back down to below 20 cents, and then you could just buy back in again below 20 cents if it does that. Let's look at RSI here and MACD indicator. Alright, so it looks like, oh, this is very interesting. Highs, lows, okay. It looked like it was trying to create a little bit of bullish divergence, but barely. And then you just popped up out of nowhere. Okay. And then here on MACD indicator, selling pressure was an issue until it no longer became an issue on Friday, where we got the first buying pressure candle here, and you got the MACD crossover to the upside. So this is showing that the trend could still be that this thing could continue going up to higher prices in the next day or two, at the very least here. I would not worry about Pi Network going to low prices until you see buying pressure die down. Like you saw here, you saw buying pressure coming up, and then it starts dying down, going to light green. When you see a light green candle showing up on the MACD indicator, that's when you should probably consider taking profit on your long, and maybe think about taking a short if you want to. But I think Pi looks good for now, at least going into tomorrow and later on this week. And then money flow on the daily time frame has been in the negative since middle of January. You've been red, but then middle of February here, you're starting to get some green showing up, showing that money flow is in the positive here for Pi Network. And you got a green buy dot came in last Thursday saying that, yeah, you're good, bro. You could buy some Pi Network. And yeah, let's see, last Thursday was when you started catching those bids here. Let's see, last Thursday was when you got that green buy dot. Had you listened to it, how far up would you be? You would have been up 40% if you just listened to that green buy dot that came in on Thursday. So I think you know, market cipher B is still a useful indicator here. I use market cipher B by WeLoad trades. If you go into the indicators here and you type in market cipher B, I use market cipher B by WeLoad trades as my indicator here. And it's pretty cool because it shows you like when things are bottoming out here. It also shows you when things are topping out or when you should be bearish. And it literally creates a little bear emoji here, which is, I don't know, kind of cute, I guess. But it lets you know, like, hey, we're topping out. Hey, it's gonna be bearish. And then, you know, down here it tells you, hey, we're bottoming out here. We're bottoming out. You should probably think about entering along or trying to buy the lows here. But you gotta be careful because sometimes you can't just rely on the indicator all together on just alone by itself, because it was telling you like, hey, bottom out, but then you kept going to low prices, bottoming out, but you kept going to low prices. And then I guess this fourth bottom out here was when was the actual bottom. So just keep that in mind, okay? Like, yeah, it was telling you to bottom out, but the prices were going down. What I like to see, you know, when I'm looking for these bottom signals here, to like get into a long or try to buy a dip here, I want to see the bottom signal, yes, and I want to see a green buy dot, but I also want to see money flow going up, okay? And this is how you know, like, this was good to like enter a long or buy the dip. When you see money flow going up from red into the green, that's how you know, like, you caught the bottom, okay? Back here, it was giving me the bottom signal here on market cipher B, but yet look at this, money flow was still trending downward. That was not the bottom. The same thing here, like, you got a bottom signal here. Yeah, money flow was going up a little bit, but just not in a strong, vigorous fashion here before it started decreasing again. It wasn't until you got over here where you got the bottom signal, you got the green buy dot, and then you saw money flow climbing up pretty significantly, where you had a pretty significant move up. So that's what you want to see when you're trying to trade market cipher B. Oh, we got a new guy here on YouTube, the Ned Rec. What's up, brother? Not sure where your accent is from, but you love the way I say Dallas. I have a Boston accent, I guess you could call it. I grew up in Rhode Island, and I'm currently in Massachusetts. So I got, you know, a little bit of New York and Boston mixed together, but I guess you could call it a Boston accent. So yeah, it's hard for me to pronounce my R's. Like sometimes I say like negative territory, and I don't know, it just doesn't roll off the tongue that well. And sometimes I'll make fun of myself by saying, "Hey, we're gonna go to the lobster bar, and you know, we gotta park the car over near the lobster bar," and not even pronounce my R's. Let's see. Thank you for following me here, Trinumimatics. Thank you for following me. Thank you, Pixel Media, for following me here on TikTok. You said, is World Liberty Finance supposed to go up because of a meeting tomorrow? Oh, I don't know. There's a meeting between the United States and Iran. It's supposed to be at like a Geneva peace talk, and you know that might be what some people are talking about as far as like an important meeting for tomorrow, and it might be related to World Liberty Finance because Donald Trump is I think he might be part of the meeting. If the talks go well, I think Donald Trump might be. I don't know. I have to go catch up on the news, to be honest with you, but it might have something to do with that. I'm just guessing. I don't know. You tell me. You tell me if what the news really is. Shub says XRP. We already looked at XRP. We looked at XRP earlier in the live stream here. Jaden says, what do I think about Dogecoin? Dogecoin it will go up if Bitcoin goes up. It usually comes down to like, is Bitcoin going to go up or down? And right now, Bitcoin's not giving us any clear signals. But let me look at XRP real quick. I'll look at Dogecoin, and then that's it, guys. I got to get out of here. I'll try to go live again on Thursday around the same time, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time. But XRP downside targets, we could revisit $1.11 if we're going to be bearish. If we lose $1.11, we could come down to 69 cents. All right. If XRP is going to be bullish here, we got to get past $1.53. which is where this white line 21 EMA is going to probably act as resistance. But if we get past $1.53, then we could climb up to this 50-day moving average above us at $1.93 before we get rejected. So I think $1.93 is your upside target on XRP. Moving on from XRP, going over to Dogecoin here. Dogecoin currently trading at 10 cents. I haven't really looked at Dogecoin or charted it recently here, but I can look here on the daily time frame and see that 21 EMA is going to be a problem until it's not. 21 EMA is sitting at 10 cents. We're already at 10 cents. So if we can get past 10 cents, then the upside target is going to probably be this 50-day moving average at 13 cents. That's that green line right there. 13 cents would still be about a 30% move up in price. So I think that's a good area to try to de-risk or take some profit if you got profit on your Dogecoin here. But to the downside, you know, maybe we can come revisit the lows here that we saw here on Friday, where we got as low as about 8 cents here on Dogecoin. Now let me zoom out some more. Dogecoin, if it gets really nasty out there with Dogecoin, I'm going to turn on the VRVP indicator here. We do have a point of control here at basically 8 cents. Yeah, 8 cents has to hold here. If it doesn't hold as support, then we could come down to this value area low, this white line sitting at 6 cents. 6 cents would be the next target for Dogecoin to the downside if we go down to 8 cents and we can't stay above 8 cents. Okay, so 300 investors are supposed to meet at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow to have a meeting on World Liberty Finance. I didn't know that. That sounds like specific news that's related to World Liberty Finance, and I didn't know about that. But thank you for letting me know. So that's probably a big deal. I think you guys should pay attention to how that meeting goes and what is said in that meeting, because that's probably going to affect World Liberty Finance in a big way. Nick Tomet, that indicator that I'm using is called the VRVP indicator, the Visual Range Volume Profile indicator. If I go over here to TradingView and you just type in VRVP, it should show up. That's the Visual Range Volume Profile indicator. Now, when you try to set up the indicator, it's not going to look the way that I have it. You got to set it up the way that I do. And I do have a video that shows you how I set it up here on TikTok. If you go on my TikTok bio, make sure you're following me here on TikTok if you haven't done so already. And then pinned to the top of the channel is the VRVP indicator video. It's like a 16 minute video here. If I click on that real quick. Yeah, it's like a 16-minute video, but I show you how to like set it up here. And then what all these lines mean here. And then how I trade with it. So you might want to take a look at that video. It's like one of my most popular videos. I got like 2,200 views here on it. And even like the more experienced traders, they see that and they're like, wait, what? This thing actually has some pretty good information here. And I think that's one reason why I get a lot of views on it, because even if you've already been trading for a while, there's still some experienced traders that don't know about that indicator. And they see, you know, how powerful and useful it is, and they're like, hey, I gotta check this out, see how I can trade with it. So yeah, that's the VRVP indicator. Alright guys, yeah, that's gonna be it for today's live stream. I plan on going live again I'm gonna go live again on Thursday around 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow. I gotta paint my house. I gotta paint one of the units there. It's a 3-bedroom, so I got like 3 bedrooms to paint, a kitchen, a bathroom, and a living room. So I'm gonna be busy all day. I'm not gonna be able to do live streaming. Trying to get that unit rent ready so I can go rent it out to a new tenant. Alright guys, so that's what I'll be doing tomorrow, and then, you know, Thursday we'll just plan on seeing each other 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern time. Alright guys, good luck trading and whatever you do, and once again, this is not financial advice, and don't forget to hit that follow button and subscribe if you're new to YouTube here. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can see me show up on your feed here. Alright guys, I will see you Thursday. Take care guys.